You just wrecked.
What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of CryptoZombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an awesome day today. Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies finally seeing some red after a lot of sideways movement. Altcoins have been having a very good week, but we could not get above the $9,700 level for Bitcoin, and Bitcoin finally decided to get rejected. Now, if you watched yesterday's video, I spoke about this golden cross happening with the 100 moving above the 200 daily moving average, and I did say that even though mid to long term this is bullish for Bitcoin, short term sometimes we can see traders counterplay this move, and sometimes we do get those dumps. Now, unfortunately, we are now sitting below the previous support, acting as resistance on futures. What does this mean for Bitcoin? Well, not only do we have the technicals, but unfortunately we have Bitcoin miners net miner outflow around 2,900 negative Bitcoin. So this is the largest amount of Bitcoin selling from the miners that we have seen in over a year. Are they putting it to exchanges? Not exactly. We're going to talk about what they're doing. It's not all doom and gloom today, though. We do have some good news. We have veteran commodities trader Chris Hehmeyer and also Hehmeyer Trading Investments saying that they're pivoting full-time into cryptocurrencies. And I also want to talk about Paul Tudor Jones investing 1% to 2% of his portfolio into Bitcoin. And lots of people are saying, well, what if institutional investors allocated a low single-digit percentage of their assets under management into Bitcoin? We're going to get to the bottom of that today. And also, we need to talk about this DeFi hype. Is it a bubble? Should you get involved? Should you be steering clear of it? We're going to get into all that today. If that sounds good to you, you know what to do. If you're not subscribed, definitely consider it. And without further ado, let's dive into the charts. So, having a look right here, guys, you can see that we were starting to put in this nice uptrend. Bitcoin was getting these bounces on this support, but we currently just started to fall below it over on the Bitcoin CME futures. Now, if we can't get above this, we will end up retesting down to the lower 9,000s. I did say this in yesterday's video. Also, we spoke about the golden cross, which I'll get into just a second, but I do want to point out that on the spot over here, you can see that Bitcoin has maintained above that $9,300 level. We did break out of this descending wedge. We're still in this purple zone right here that you can see we do tend to bounce around in a lot. We have some fake outs to the upside. We have some fake outs to the downside, but currently we are sitting right on the bottom of that level. It is a very critical level for Bitcoin. So all signs are pointing to the fact that if the Bitcoin bulls can't come in and can't push this price higher, especially getting above the resistance at around 9,430, we are going to go back down to the lower 9,000s. Now, as I did say before, even if we were to go back to $9,000 exactly, that's okay. That still puts us on the bottom of this support. You see, we do have still a little bit of area we could drop right here. And like I said, we do have this golden cross, which is forming. It will pretty much have confirmation by tomorrow. We will have the cross happening. And I did say that even though this is bullish, how many times have we seen counter trades on the day of the golden crosses? I mean, you could even see right here when we had the 50 move above the 100. Look at this. Here we go. And on that day, Bitcoin literally pulled down, actually for 2 days straight, 7.5%, and actually all the way to the bottom, 10%. So lots of count. But then look, we ended up actually having a pump all the way up to 10,500. So there you go. So be careful with those short-term, long-term, mid-term. They are bullish. Once again, if you want to just have another sort of look right here, this is the triangle that we're in. You can see we keep getting stomped out by this resistance that basically formed when we had the peak around the $10,500 level. To get above that, like I said, around the $9,800 level. And my good old buddy Josh Rager says the next 2 day, well, actually, he's looking at the 2-day chart right here, and he says that it is obviously so clear. He says 10K has been holding ground with Bitcoin price being held below outside 1 week in February. He says next time the 2-day chart closes above $10,000, I see price continuing to rip up to 11,000 and beyond. So is this the last opportunity to buy Bitcoin below 10,000? Well, I'm not going to be the one to say it, but could be. I mean, we've tested this level so many times. This really, truly could be, more of a blessing than a curse, okay? People are like, oh, I want Bitcoin to go above 10,000. Well, literally the next time we break 10K might be the last chance to get it under 10,000. So if you're still trying to accumulate Bitcoin, now could be an excellent opportunity, not financial advice, but Hey guys, look what the stocks are doing. NASDAQ pulling down, S&P, all of them, right? So is Bitcoin just following stocks? This is what we talked about in yesterday's video. I'm not going to go into it again. If you didn't check it out, check out yesterday's video. But what I do want to talk about is we have seen this morning 1,316 Bitcoin, roughly $12.2 million transferred from an unknown wallet to OKX. Culkin says, dump it. Well, the question is, what are they going to do with all this Bitcoin? Well, one thing we need to talk about, and this came out yesterday morning. Cole Gardner actually pointed this out. Probably should have reported on it, but I didn't really notice this till today. Yesterday morning, he noticed that Bitcoin miner outflows had spiked, the second biggest since Bitcoin hit 10,000. He says, I am expecting a whole lot of selling to start real soon. Lo and behold, two of the mining pools have released over 7,000 Bitcoin in one day. Why are these miners selling? We thought Bitcoin miner capitulation was over. Are they worried? Are they just trying to cover their costs? Well, basically, we have How BTC and Poolin, with Poolin basically seeing its second biggest daily outflow ever. In total, the two of them saw 7,153 Bitcoin, roughly $68.1 million. And it says, while the move did not correspond to a similar increase in exchange balances, the coins still could end up being sold OTC. So technically, if they were sold OTC, we shouldn't really see an effect on the markets. But interestingly enough, we did have, this big whale move right here. We did literally actually see the Bitcoin price tumble this morning. So there is some kind of correlation as far as I'm concerned. And you can see right here, the net flow of coins in and out of miner addresses is now negative 2,935 Bitcoin, hitting the lowest levels since June of 2019. This is according to Glassnode, or in other words, this is the highest amount of outflows that we've seen in a year's time, literally since June of last year. Not even this much we've seen at the halving when people were panic dumping. So something is definitely happening right now. We are seeing that reflection. But like I said, guys, we have sort of started to stall around that sort of $9,200, $9,300 level. So yeah, is that going to act as the support? We do have more potential pressure that could bring us to the downside, but this has been a key level we've looked at, the $9,300 level. So we'll have to see how this plays out, guys. Maybe more is going to unfold as far as what is going on with the Bitcoin miners, but for everyone freaking out, if you're new to crypto, if you joined recently, Crypto Watch pointed out, Bitcoin is still up 34% compared to gold only up 16%, which is more than double what gold has performed this year. US 10-year Treasury only 14%, NASDAQ 12%, S&P still down 3%, and oil not doing quite well at negative 35%. So Bitcoin's still the best place to be. Currently, though, it's not mooning. I know everybody wants the moon, but, here's the thing, guys. You want it to moon, but when it starts mooning, you start kicking yourself and go, damn, why didn't I buy more Bitcoin? So if Bitcoin was $14,000 tomorrow, I think a lot of us might be kind of upset we didn't have an opportunity to accumulate more. Could be. Maybe you've got your bags loaded. I don't know. To each his own. But what I do want to talk about is Paul Tudor Jones. Now, he was sort of the big investor that, put his foot forward and said, I'm going to invest a 2% of my holdings into Bitcoin to hedge against what he referred to as the great monetary inflation. So basically you can see right here, to quote him, he says, the best profit maximizing strategy is to own the fastest horse. If I'm forced to forecast, my bet will be Bitcoin. We are witnessing the great monetary inflation and unprecedented expansion of every form of money unlike anything that the developed world has ever seen. But lots of people are wondering, what would happen if we did have all of these different institutional investors allocating a low single-digit percent? So basically, you could see Masari did 0.51, 1.52, and 2.5. And Ryan Watkins, an analyst over here, an on-chain analyst, he says, what would it look like if institutional investors followed Paul Tudor Jones and did allocate a small investment towards Bitcoin? Well, basically it says too long to read. Essentially, here's what we found. Hundreds of billions, if not trillions, of inflows into Bitcoin. Now, backing up the prediction with Chris Berninski's Crypto Assets Flow and Reflexivity Research Report, Ryan, who I just had on the screen, he made it clear that an aggregate 1% of institutional allocation into Bitcoin could easily bring the market capitalization to $1 trillion, which would give us a 50 Bitcoin. Now, this is just with a 1% allocation, okay? Watkins stated categorically that despite the fact that Bitcoin may not need institutional investors to succeed, as evidenced by the digital assets exponential growth in terms of adoption and price action since its launch over a decade ago, that the influx of these big whales will, however, enable the revolutionary currency to maintain a status as a bona fide store of value. So yeah, 1%, you're talking a $50,000 Bitcoin. That doesn't even include all the retail FOMO that would follow afterwards. Big story of the day. Hehmeyer Trading Plus Investments, the commodities investment firm, is investing. They're not investing, they're pivoting to crypto full time. So you could see that this means that the company will no longer be offering its old brokerage service, prop trading, commodity pool, or trading advisor services. Founder and CEO Chris Hehmeyer told CoinDesk that he finds cryptocurrency and blockchain to be a very dynamic space, and he believes it can lead to all new types of products that people could never dream of before, pointing also to DeFi, which we're going to get into. I do have a DeFi story to get into today, but he did say that the company will only look to be market making on exchanges and counter parties at the moment, but he is looking at some other possibilities out there. He says the crypto space is still in its infrastructure building phase. Companies like Fidelity Digital Assets have entered the space, and central banks are considering issuing and working with digital currencies, which is a start. Institutional investors have been slow to embrace crypto, but as companies evolve to provide more services, things can start to happen really fast. And actually, Fidelity was showing that about 1/3 have already had some type of exposure into Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as well. But I know everyone's talking about DeFi, huge DeFi hype. We've seen what Maker can do. Compound has recently surpassed Maker with more locked USD and DeFi. You can see DeFi basically just continuing to climb day by day. And we do have a big gainer today. 61%. Balancer and Synthetics doing quite well as well. But as we did see with the Compound hype, Compound, did basically go from around $60 all the way up to $372, and it did have almost a 40% pullback so far at around $200. Now, there is another big guy on the spot, Balancer, which is up 124% at $20. It looks like it did hit, a high of around $22 earlier, took a dip, and it's kind of been coasting sideways. So, should you invest in Balancer? Well, first of all, guys, what is Balancer? It appears that basically, the news of the BAL governance token was made. According to the announcement, the team is employing an on-chain governance system which allows the token holders to vote on decisions regarding the project. Balancer is an automated market maker exchange protocol built on the Ethereum network, which algorithmically makes adjustments to price and liquidity. Users can create liquidity pools where tokens can automatically rebalance after a token price change occurs in a pool. Whew. Okay. So now you guys are all clear on what Balancer is. Well, could it be the next big one? Well, it could be, guys. It's already up 123%. Be careful at buying in at the tops over here. So, basically, to explain what this, I love this meme, by the way. Yeah, so this is me explaining it to my girlfriend. So you could put your ETH into Compound as collateral, then borrow USDT, then you use the Etherscan to lend some USD back so you can farm Comp, then you can take some USDT and put it on Balancer to farm BAL, then you tokenize your BTC and add it to Curve, then you take the Curve LP tokens and add them to Synthetics so you can farm CRV, BAL, Synthetics, and REN. Seems pretty clear to me, right? Well, in all sincerity, guys, please let's not make a new ICO bubble out of DeFi, says Sasha Ivanov over at Waves. But let's be honest, guys, DEXs are exploding with volume thanks to yield farming. You can see right here, in June so far, DEXs have facilitated 325 million of trade. In June 2020, the number shot up to 1.08 billion, and the month isn't even over yet. Yield farming has attracted a new class of speculators to DeFi. The returns vary from a few percentage points a year to over 100% annualized returns. 100% annualized returns, guys. Annualized returns, that seems a little high to me. But anyway, the inflow of fresh capital has caused an unexpected mania with DeFi to effectively farm yield Speculators need to change their strategy daily, sometimes even a few times a day. These strategies entail using one asset as collateral, borrowing a second asset, and sometimes even swapping it for a third asset. So yeah, guys, I mean, if you want to be doing this all day, swapping out assets for this and that, me personally, I'll just hodl some Bitcoin. But yeah, I mean, listen, you could make a lot of money doing this. Is anybody dealing with this kind of DeFi stuff? I mean, for me, it's like, are you just basically creating solutions for problems that don't exist? Is this truly revolutionary? You know, is Balancer going to be the next 5x token? You guys let me know about that. But yeah, so anyway, that is the situation. Let me know. DeFi, is it the future? Is it a hype? Is it just a bubble? Is it the ICO, you know, Bubble 2.0 in DeFi? Let me know, guys. But I do want to end on one more bit of news, and this is from PayPal. So we were talking about those PayPal listings for new jobs, blockchain developers, etc. So basically we have sort of a breakdown of what it was. The first listing is a job title, this is for PayPal, called Technical Lead Crypto Engineer. So this describes a person that's going to be responsible for new initiatives for PayPal Global with a focus on agility, time to market, and innovation. The role includes designing, developing, and maintaining key crypto products, features targeted towards availability, performance, and scalability of PayPal services. And they have a second listing, which is why, by the way, I do think that it's not FUD. I think PayPal is going to probably end up having some type of Bitcoin, Ethereum, crypto integration. The second listing is for blockchain research engineers to work within the company's research group, quote, a newly formed group within the strategic technology enablement team chartered with establishing expertise and opinions on emerging blockchain technologies and their potential use within PayPal. So looks like it may be legit after all. They're just choosing not to comment. And yeah, Bitcoin's still hanging around that $9,300 level. So like I said, guys, we do have to keep our eyes on it. There is some potential, more chance we could go down to the downside, you know, coming back down to the $9,000 level. We are still in an uptrend. You know, I still am looking for that golden cross. That's going to happen tomorrow. We're definitely going to have the two lines touching. And yeah, then we'll technically have our double golden cross on both the spot and the futures that we've been talking about. And don't really know what else to say about after that. I mean, what is keeping Bitcoin down? Well, that is the question, guys. Could it just be the fact that we still have traditional stocks sort of leading the way? I can't talk today. Could be, guys. But that's it for me today. Thanks so much for coming back to the channel. Hope you're enjoying your week. Yeah. So you guys know the drill. I do this every single day. My name is K-Dub. If you're not subscribed, consider it. We do give away Ledger Nano S's every Monday. Drop a comment if you want to win. We do random giveaways every single Monday. And that's it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I do this every single day. My name is K-Dub. This is CryptoZombie. Until next time, stay crypto. Be safe out there, my friends. And of course, peace out.